In the scriptures, it is recorded that after his triumphal march into Jerusalem, Jesus has this moment in Gethsemane where he asks, do I have to do this? Do I have to take this fall? Do I have to go through this next part of my journey? How many of us have been there? Right? We said we wanted something. We wanted something different in our lives. Right? And we step forward and we feel confident and sure. And then it comes to fruition. And it comes to that moment. And boy, anything but this. Anything but this being ripped from me. This identity, this life, this flesh, this family, whatever it is, this job. This knowing. My favorite line in that song is the someone I am is waiting. Someone I am is waiting for me to come forward. And in order for that to happen, we have to get out of the way. So for those of us who know the story, Jesus says yes. He will do this. And for those of us sitting here in the sanctuary today, the answer has been yes. I will do this. I will fall. I will let go of all that I think I have, I am, and I have been. To become the me that's been waiting. In the beautiful passage that Teresa read, there was a moment where Jesus, on the cross, on the crucifix, cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me? In that moment of the last gasp of his life, Scripture records, tells us that he was feeling alone, abandoned, and defeated. Oh. I often pondered, why? Why, if this was the Son of God, this was the one come to save the world, would he have that much doubt at that moment? And I had a momentary blessing of an awakening when I was studying this scripture again today, going, oh, of course. Of course. That moment, he had to be in that much doubt. Because what he was letting go of was the human component. The part that does doubt. The part that doesn't know. The part that is identified with the material and the flesh. The part that knew himself as Jesus of Nazareth and not Jesus the Christ. So, in that moment, I get incredible comfort. Because there are days where I too go, oh God, what am I doing? Oh God, help me. Help me. Whether it's a God inside me, or a God around me, or a God in all of you, who sometimes I cry out to for help. And that's the amazing part of this community. We get to be with each other in those moments on the cross, those moments in Gethsemane, where we go, okay, I give. I give in and I give way to something greater. 2 lines later in that beautiful verse from Matthew, as Jesus screams out for the last time, oh God, why have you forsaken me? And dies. The curtain in the Holy of Holies is ripped from top to bottom. Ripped from top to bottom. And metaphysically, unity has always taught this as an important moment. I was looking at the metaphysical Bible dictionary's interpretation of that moment today, and was so heartened by this. In the moment of releasing our connection to our body, to our humanness, that thing that divides, the curtain in the Jewish temple, that curtain was what divided the place where God resided from everyone else. The place where God sat, literally sat, from the rest of the congregation. And only a priest on one day of the year, fully sanctified and fully cleansed, could enter the Holy of Holies. But on this night, when Jesus dies, when he breathes his last, that curtain is forever torn from top to bottom. And everyone has access to God. No separation and no distance between us. When we can let go, metaphysically, when we can let go of identity, of personality, of material beingness, and know that we are in truth spiritual beings, that division, that curtain, is torn apart. And the light of God and the light of our being become instantly one. So let me fall. Let me fall into the awareness that there is only one. That there is only one power, one presence, one working in my life as me. Not me, not personality, not ego, but spirit, seeing you beautiful, seeing you holy, seeing you complete. It's also recorded in that scripture that at that moment the earth shook and all the tombs were opened. It's the most interesting part of the scripture, right? That literally the bodies of the saints get up from their tombs and walk into the holy city. Shit. Oh my. That must have been some day. But metaphysically, what would that represent, right? If it didn't literally happen that way, what did that represent? That in that moment, as Jesus lets go of his physical being, and the temple curtain is torn open, and we all have instant access to God, that all of us are awakened from our slumber. They actually say slumber in the scripture. It says, the saints who have been asleep awaken from their tombs and get up and go into the holy city. Right? We wake up from our slumber. That this moment of crucifixion and death is a reminder to us to awaken and to come out into our wholeness, our holiness, and to be part of that holy city. To stop the slumber. Let me fall so that I may arise and waken. Let me fall so that I may get up and be part of the holiness of this day. Let me fall so that I may be truly the son, the daughter, the child, the expression of God. Right here. And right now. This Holy Friday is an amazing day. And I am inviting us all to claim it in unity as our day. Not about blood and death, but about release and awakening. About coming out of our slumber and being part of an awakened world. Let's take this to our time of meditation with our meditation song, I'm Raising the Veil.
So I'm going to invite us into a time of stillness, an extended period of silence, an opportunity for us to each enter the tomb, enter that space, that place, that expansiveness that is the divinity that is our very life. To embrace the seeming darkness, to embrace the space, the place that perhaps is holding on, that is clinging to something, and allowing ourselves to fall free, to drop down as we rise up and we meet ourselves. We meet that human frailty. We meet all the places where we think we have failed. We meet ourselves in the stillness and rest in the love, held, cradled. The darkness is a place of incubation. The darkness is a place where all that is seeking to fall away, die away, drop away, has the space and the compassion to do so without fear. All love, all love. I invite us as we begin to come back into time and space to allow ourselves to be connected with the two, to be connected with this sacred stillness within us, to be connected with what is seeking to fall away. As we go forth this Holy Friday, and we continue to make space for that holiness that is our life to reveal itself more fully. And maybe with these words. When he was with us, he gazed at us and at our world with eyes of wonder. For his eyes were not veiled with the veil of years, and all that he saw was clear in the light of his youth. Though he knew the depth of beauty, he was forever surprised by its peace and its majesty. And he stood before the earth as the first man had stood before the first day. We whose senses have been dulled, we gaze in full daylight and yet we do not see. We would cup our ears, but we do not hear, and stretch forth our hands, but we do not touch. And though all the incense of Arabia is burned, we go our way and do not smell. We see not the plowman returning from his field at eventide, nor hear the shepherd's flute when he leads his flock to the fold. Nor do we stretch our arms to touch the sunset, and our nostrils hunger no longer for the roses of Sharon. Nay, we honor no kings without kingdoms, nor hear the sound of harps save when the strings are plucked by hands. Nor do we see a child playing in our olive grove as if he were a young olive tree. And all words must needs rise from the lips of flesh, or else we deem each other dumb and deaf. In truth, we gaze but do not see, and hearken but do not hear. We eat and drink but do not taste, and there lies the difference between Jesus of Nazareth and ourselves. His senses were all continually made new, and the world to him was always a new world. To him, the lisping of a babe was not less than the cry of all mankind, while to us it is only lisping. To him, the root of a buttercup was a longing towards God, while to us it is not but a root.
We have been so blessed for this time by these words, and this music, and by each other. This time in the tomb is our time to transform. I invite you to stay here as long as you want. Even when you leave this physical space, to stay here in the tomb, to stay in the silence. Our service will not end. Our service just transforms. May these words, this music, and this time resonate within you throughout the weekend. And that Sunday morning, we are all reborn together. We're going to sit here as Michael serenades us. And when you feel so called, I invite you to mindfully walk out into the city and into your life. We have baskets set up at the front for a love offering as you leave. I invite you to celebrate in silence the beauty that surrounds us always.